Third person isn't my thing. I like first person narration. I would be willing to write if somebody would talk to me, but they don't talk to me directly. Edward keeps his peace. Jean-Claude certainly doesn't tell me everything. Asher sulks. You know, he does.
I've read most of Bullet. Yes.
I tried to talk to him, you know, and say, "Tell me what you want." It's like a broken damn record. He's like one of those whiny girlfriends you have.
Yes.
Oh, come on, we all have at least one. And you just get tired after a while hearing the same thing. But he's getting better. He's made great strides. And we're all hoping to get better. I actually have a short story idea for Juliana and Asher where they tell the story, because Anita can share memories. So we are going to see Juliana. We are going to see her on stage walking around, at least in memory, in a story. The more I talk about it, the more excited I get about it. So we will be doing that. And we'll see, but it will be a short piece. Thank you. So.
Hello, my name's Ashley, and I'm recent. I heard of you a year ago, and I consumed everything that you published in about a year.
Hi, Ashley. Welcome.
So I recently got Night Seer, and you said nothing's a single idea in your head. Is there anything of Night Seer? And then also with the Mary idea, you said there's happy endings, but you have to go through all the horror and the shit first. So do you see Anita at the end, or do you still have to hear what she's gone through and then write it?
Well, Anita's not a fairy tale. So I don't have an ending in mind for her. It's a continuing story. I think of it more as a mystery series, where each book is self-contained as much as possible, but you get character built from one to one. And I'm sorry.
Mary, happy ending.
Happy ending? No, I answered that already. Mary doesn't, I don't have an ending for Anita. The next Mary book is supposed to come out in 2011. I have to write this Anita book first. And I was hoping touring for the same book would make it easier to stay in and write the next book, rather than writing a different book than what I'm talking about on tour, and it actually is proving to be true. I'm actually able to write more in this Anita book while I'm talking and thinking with you guys about Anita. So I may try to be writing the next book in whatever series while I'm touring for them. That seems to be working better. But you had the first part of your question.
Night Seer.
Thank you. See, I knew there was something else. Night Seer was supposed to be a 4-book series. And the first book didn't sell well enough. They didn't want the second book. And suddenly, my career, I'd sold my first novel, I had a Star Trek book that was coming out, and they didn't want my second book. And the fantasy market had gone to hell, which is what I wanted to write. I wanted to write like Tolkien meets Robert E. Howard. That was my goal. That was what I wanted to write. So I had to come up with an idea for a book to try to sell that was different. So I looked through my short stories that were unpublished, and I had a short story with Anita Blake in it. And I'd gotten some of the best rejection slips from this story. Everybody loved it. They thought it was great, but they didn't know what to do with it. That should have clued me in that the book itself would have the same problem. Remember, this was in the late 80s when I wrote this. It did not sell for over 2 years. It got over 200 rejection slips. Nobody wanted this book. They loved it, but they didn't know what to do with it. It was neither mystery, it was not, people said vampire fiction was dead. People said, they said that mixed genre doesn't sell. They said that the violence content with a woman was too much. They just didn't know what to do with it. They didn't like that the vampires were out of the closet and everybody knew about them. Because it wasn't horror that way. And yes, those editors have apologized to me. And I've had the petty pleasure of having one of them in an elevator say, "Oh gosh, I wish I'd had a chance at your books when you were sending them around." I said, "Well, you did." And I had one editor who's apologized for the way she rejected me. Because for whatever reason, bad cappuccino that day, she literally said, "Describe the book to me in 50 seconds," so less than a minute, and she snapped her fingers within an inch of my nose the whole time. I couldn't do it. She has apologized profusely about that. And she says, "I don't know, I was awful to you that day." I said, "Yes, you were." "I'm sorry." "Yes, you were." I don't do the girl thing. If you were bad to me and you admit it, I accept your apology, but you're still bad to me. Okay.
Hi, Laurell. Michelle Curtis.
Michelle.
I'm 6 times seeing you since Milan, Italy. I promise, though, I'm not a stalker. Just a big, big fan. 2 questions, and I'll make them quick. One is if you could expand a little bit more from what you'd written in the blog about the demise of the No TV series or movie that happened, because I was so looking forward to that. Secondly, if we can look for anything, I appreciate you probably want control and that you're very busy, but I think that we're seeing what we see right now in society. We could probably really use some Anita or Mary in the media in a different kind of format.
If I could get a series made that would reflect the series and keep the key points, I would be happy to have a good series made. I'd be happy to have a good movie made. But if I can't have a good one made, I don't want one. We got as close as looking at glossies for actresses. At one point, we had scripts handed in. I mean, we got really close. It never started rolling the cameras. And what I've learned about Hollywood is, 1, I'm amazed anything gets done at all. And 2, enthusiasm alone is not enough. You've got to have the clout and the juice to keep it going. And I don't know enough of the business yet. So we are going to be learning more about it. But the 2 years of working with Hollywood has taught us a great deal. And I know a lot more than I did, and I've had the wonderful experience of going on to some of the big lots that the big lots that make the old movies. Oh, yes, we walk on Warner Brothers and we're just listing the movies. It's like, ooh, ah, and then you're walking down, and I'm not used to being in LA yet, and so you walk past somebody and you go, that looks just like. You don't say, that is. You say, that looks just like. You get in an elevator, that looks just like Angelica Houston. And then you realize, it is Angelica Houston. And she gets that look of fear of being trapped in the elevator with you, and you've recognized her. And then you just do that whole, cool, you just nod, and she relaxes. Because she's trapped in an elevator with you, she doesn't know. And people look very different in person, much thinner, frightfully thinner in person, and taller. Oh my God, I had no idea how tall everybody. We saw most of the cast of Chuck by accident. And my God, they're all huge. They're like really, really tall. I mean, it's like the main character is well over 6 feet. He's gotta be 6'4", 6'5". And so that makes everybody else much, much taller than they look on TV. And so I'm thinking, I have no idea how tall these people are. So you go on IMDb and look at their heights, and people are shorter and taller, and you can do camera angles to make them look like anything, and makeup to look like anything. I don't want to be a casting director. I would suck. Because people look so different in person as on the camera, and I don't have the eye for it yet. All right. Oh, well, and what happened? That's about all I can tell you. I'm not mad at anybody. IFC and I parted friends. Lionsgate and I parted friends. The producer and I are still friends. We'll do lunch when I'm in town kind of thing. So nobody's mad. We're just not doing it.